Okay, right now, after we have successfully installed the Primavera, just the installation process we have done, we need to start working with Primavera to manage our project. But first of all, I need to configure the database. So the second step after the installation is to configure your database. Previously, 3 years ago, before 3 years ago, you cannot work on your Primavera and as a standalone installation unless you configure the database on your own computer, either to be SQL, Microsoft SQL, or even Oracle. But that was very headache for us as a project managers because most of this configuration from IT perspective, we need to do it in the professional way as IT. Unfortunately, we are not IT, we are just project managers. So the Oracle just make a take care of this issue. And right now we are able to configure our own database without having the full expertise of the IT. So we can make all the configuration of database just by one click. There is no need to create database as SQL. There is no need to install SQL Server or even Oracle database in your computers. There is no need to configure the port numbers for security reasons. There is no need to do so many things. Even also, the database installation right now is very, very straightforward process. Let's to see it. Once I open it right now, it's to open it. Now I would like to connect to database. If I go to the advanced, unfortunately, we don't have right now any kind of database, which is very cool because we just install it right now. So I need to go to the edit database configuration to create my own database before working on that database. You see here, there is no connection, there is no database. So I will click on add. And the first thing to take care of is the driver type. If I select Oracle, or even I select Microsoft Server, or select Cloud Connect, if I select these two databases, Oracle or Microsoft, meaning I have to install the database on my computer and configure the security and figure port number and, which is not recommended for me because I'm just a project manager. I don't have deep expertise in the IT. I would like to connect to the cloud, which is Wildfire. That's very cool, but I need account. I need to have a subscription with Oracle. Right now, I don't have. I'm going to use my computer standalone. So what is the best database to be selected? That's going to be the SQL database, SQLite, not the SQL Server. The SQLite here has been created by Oracle to give you the facility to install, to make the configuration without need to have any expertise in the IT. That's very cool. You don't have to be expert in the IT just to create a new installation rather than just to add a connection. What you will call the connection here regarding the database, the alias connection, for example, I will call it, for example, company A. The question here, how many database I can create? I can create so many databases here, but each one of them will manage multiple projects from one perspective. Right now, all I need is just one database. I can manage all of my projects through one database. When do I need to create other database? That will be discussed later after we take the chapter of exporting and import. But right now, only one is enough. I'm capable to manage all of my project through one database. For that reason, I make the name, by the way, the name itself here, you can name it anything you would like to, but it's highly recommended to be full meaning name. Full meaning name. Why? Because once you get back to, if you have multiple database connection later on, you can get back to the each one of them, and you know very well what exactly have inside this database. For that reason, for me, I just connected company A. This meaning my connection. Then move to the next. Now it will ask you what is the login name. The login name is Madman. We can rename it as we'd like to. As I said also here regarding to the personal name, I don't like the personal to be admin. For example, I would like to say it my name. My name, for example, Ahmed Maher. Ahmed Maher. For example, what is the password? Password, highly recommend to be hard to guess, easy to remember. Hard to guess meaning should be complex. What do you mean by complex? Should have capital letters, small letters, and numbers and symbol. Is it that required? No, it's highly recommended. It's not required. Because if you have easy password, we have a lot of brute force software who can guess your password. For that reason, the last thing you would like to have easy password or easy to crack password. So if there's any brute force attack coming to your computer, that will affect your that can steal your password and maybe damage your database. For that reason, it's highly recommended, highly not required. Required meaning it will not work until you get it. But right now I'm talking about high recommended rather than to be required. So we will create password that could be required. Sorry, that be complex. And by the way, here we just would like to note something here. The current currency is the default one, which is the US dollar, meaning that I will manage all of my project through US dollar. This is not the truth because here I'm in Saudi Arabia and all of my projects supposed to be managed by currency of Saudi Riyal. But here the Primavera itself has not configured Saudi Riyal on the default configuration. This will create a new challenge for us. So after we finish the database configuration, first of all, we need to access to the Primavera and configure the Saudi Riyal currency as, first of all, I need to create the Saudi Riyal currency. After that, I need to configure it as the default currency for all of my project. Right now, I'll just keep it because I don't know how can I create the Saudi Riyal currency. Moving to the next. Here, I don't like to load sample database because if I load sample database, I will be confused later on which one belong to my real project and which one it belong to my sample project. Maher speaking, I don't like at all to load the sample database. You can create database differently, and this database you can make it just for samples. But working in the production database with sample, this will confuse you. This will make very difficult for you to manage your own project, or you don't know how to distinguish between the realistic or the production project and how to distinguish with the sample project. For that reason, I just will uncheck this one and I would like to call the database. I will call it, for example, company A underscore database. Just everything's okay right now. Let's move to next to save it. Right now, when I save it, it has been done. So I can close and close. And right now, the database has been configured successfully. It's a time right now to log in to the Primavera and see the Primavera component from the first glance.